think we can all agree that humans are made the same, but our thoughts differ from one person to another, and as a result, we have different opinions. We live by different principles, and each and every single one of us lives by a different principle too. And what if, for the greater good, you have to sacrifice those principles, even though you think that they are good? And that is exactly what was done by John Gregory, the character in this book, The Spook's Sacrifice. Assalamualaikum. Greetings to all. My name is KHAIRY bin KHUSHAINI, and I am from Sekolah Tuanku Abdul Rahman. And I'll give a short review on this book, The Spook's Sacrifice. So the book is written by Joseph Delaney, a British author. So the spook here isn't a name, but it is a profession. Meaning to say, the spook is sort of a wizard that fights the dark, demons, ghouls, and ghosts. But not in a Harry Potter sort of style, but more towards Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. So the book pretty much is about the apprenticeship of one we call as Thomas Ward and his journey to actually becoming the spook himself. The Spook's Sacrifice is the 6th book of the Wardstone Chronicles that consists of 13 separate books. A short synopsis on the book. So John Gregory, the current spook, has to sacrifice his principles, his lifelong principles, and actually make an alliance with witches from Pendle in order to fight a greater evil in which they call it the Ordeal, sort of an entity or an old god as they would call it. And spoiler alert, in the end, Tom's mother, who turns out to actually be an entity herself, is locked in combat with the Ordeal. Both are entities, and in the end, his mother ultimately kills the Ordeal but sacrifices herself to save the whole world. So the strengths and weaknesses of the book. Let's start with the strengths. I think that the book actually has really good plot. It's really organized. You can actually see where the story is going, and there's a sort of anxiety and desperation to know what's going to happen next. But what I like the most about the book is the character build-up. The amount of characterization to a certain character is so good that the reader actually has attachment to it. That's exactly why I think that this book is great. The moment Tom's mother died, even though she's fictional, they actually feel like a real person has passed away. And you can feel the grief. All the emotions in this book, you can feel it vividly in your heart. And if you want to talk about weaknesses, I don't think there are much. But even if so, I think the weaknesses, if any, are the side characters. There's a character in this book that plays an important role in a previous book, and there was an attempt of build-up of this character. He's an interesting character, very different from the rest, but sadly he died in this book. And I think it should be better to build up these side characters instead of just focusing on the same main characters, because people want a variety of people, variety of personalities. So that's enough about the book. In my opinion, in terms of writing, this book is absolutely fantastic, because the way he writes makes you want to read the whole story. Of course, it doesn't have really bombastic words, complex language, or old English like what is used by Charles Dickens or Tolkien if you would prefer him. But to me, it doesn't matter, because the way Joseph Delaney depicts the characters, depicts the scene, the simplicity of it is amazing, because you get a sense of who is talking here, what the scene is about, and what does it look like. Especially in battle scenes where you actually have to feel the battle, and the way he depicts it is quite perfect. You actually feel the person, you feel the scene. And I think that's all I have to say about this book. I love it, and I'm sure you will love it too.